words he speaks are true. We're our humanary stew. We don't pledge allegiance to the Black Widow. The horror that he'll bring, the horror of his sting, the unholiest of kings, the Black Widow.
Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the Spider's Parlor. I am the Spider, and we're down to the final three studio albums of Alice Cooper's deviant discography. We kick off with 2003's The Eyes of Alice Cooper. Not a concept album, just a series of great garage rock, Detroit sounding songs that Alice was very proud of, and went on tour with it through the Eyes of Alice Cooper tour, which I got to see, and it has some fantastic songs on here. My personal favorite is track 8, but we'll get to that. We kick off with What Do You Want From Me, and it's got one of my favorite lyrics where he says, burned all my porno, and then, you know, disconnected my Xbox, and all that stuff, and then, you know, I took you to Target for your birthday meal, bought you an autographed Buns of Steel. You know, it's these quirky lines like that that are just, they're hilarious. And then between high school and the old school, I really like that because it's literally like showing Alice, you know, almost like a little nudge to these new upcomers, like, you know what, the old school still can kick butt. And then the song he did on Craig Kilborn's show live, Man of the Year, fantastic song. The whole thing sounds very happy until the end, you know. But if I've got it all pretty much, you know, why do I bow? And then he goes, it was the greatest funeral. I laid in perfect state. I bet the Lord can't wait, and all that type of stuff, you know, to meet the Man of the Year. I mean, you're just like, wow, wow, what a twist. But that's Alice for you. Then, of course, we got Novocaine, which was a fantastic little song. He did that live as well. And then you got Bye Bye Baby. It's just a great little, you know, little quirky rock song. And then one of the ballads on here, Be With You a While. Very touching song. Loved it. And then Detroit City. Not a remake of Detroit Rock City, but his own homage to his hometown. With Detroit, I mean, it mentions some of the great things on here. Me and Iggy were gigging with Ziggy, kicking with the MC5, Ted and Seeger, burning with fever, let the silver bullets fly. The Kid was in his crib, that's reference to Kid Rock. Shady wore a bib, Slim Shady, Eminem. The Posse wasn't even alive, Insane Clown Posse. So it's pretty much saying, yeah, all you people from Detroit, man, I was doing all this long before you. It's awesome. It's more or less another homage to the classics. And then you've got my personal favorite song, and one I am dying to hear him do live, is Spirits Rebellious. For years, that song was always going to be the title of one of his albums. And I'm so glad he didn't waste the title, because I thought it was a cool title. And he finally made it just one of his songs. Fine. Then the next song is creepy as it could be. It could have easily fitted on Welcome to My Nightmare, and it's called This House is Haunted. Little side note, my birthday, a few years ago, Alice read my email on his Valentine's Day, or not Valentine's Day, it was actually 3 weeks roughly after my birthday. I've had 2 of my emails read on there. One on Valentine's Day, and then another one roughly 3 weeks after my birthday in late April. My birthday's April 16th, and then it was about, I think, maybe late April, early May. He read it, and they had just come out with the Amityville Horror remake, which I liked, but there was a lot of Alice imagery in it, and I said This House is Haunted would have been perfect for it. He agreed, so he more or less did This House is Haunted as a tribute to me. And of course, in subsequent meetings of actually meeting him 3 times, I did bring that up to him in one of them, so that was pretty cool. And then Love Should Never Feel Like This. I really like that. Walk in the bathroom and take a deep breath. Look in the mirror, and it, Just it's great little just lines like that I really like. The song that didn't rhyme, very quirky song about it's basically this whole complaint about the band couldn't wing it, the singer couldn't sing it, the drummer was out of tune, and just everything else, and the whole thing sounds like a big complaint about the making of this album or song or whatever. And then at the end, well, thanks for the $12.99 on the song that didn't rhyme. It's like, oh well, you bought it, whatever. I'm so angry. Just this relentless, just aggressive, just, and then finally Backyard Brawl, which he did as a companion piece to Gutter Cats vs. the Jets during the tour. And it's just, it's more or less that whole, it's a song about the backyard wrestling phenomenon, just, getting the crap beat out of each other, jumping off roofs and all this stuff, and it's a lot of fun. The Eyes of Alice Cooper was a great, little experiment, I guess, of sorts, as a return to what he used to do in the early 70s with those type of albums. And Alice got rid of the trademark makeup and brought back the old makeup from Love It to Death with the lines. It's not, back then it was called the spider makeup, but we have to kind of change that now that he had that new makeup for Along Came a Spider. So I just always call it the almost like the sun makeup, S-U-N. When you were little and you draw a circle with lines going all over the place. That's kind of like what this was. It's a return to that old school makeup. And it was because that felt like that type of album. So it was a nice return for a retro feel. So yes, I do recommend The Eyes of Alice Cooper. Like I said, standout track for me is definitely Spirits Rebellious. But if I had to pick, a couple others, Man of the Year, Detroit City, What Do You Want From Me, Between High School and the Old School, easily those tracks are my all-time favorites on there. And This House is Haunted. So yes. But then Alice kind of continued with this feel and almost perfected it with Dirty Diamonds.